Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I am your host, Scott Ramp, and I'm here to tell you all the things that are happening in and around Missoula and more. I got a city council report, I got my dub and stuff, I got a fun video from our summer camps, and we are starting our Saturday drop-ins starting this Saturday for anyone aged 9 to 14. Any kids who are out there wanting to do some stop animation, make some media fun, we have a free drop-in that starts tomorrow, Saturday at 1 p.m. I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, but let me fix some audio. All right, I'm back. All right, let's kick things off with some breaking news that happened yesterday afternoon. Hellgate High School went into a lockdown around 1:30 yesterday. 3 juveniles were put into custody where there were rumors about a potential shooting. Police confirmed later that one student was informed that other two students told them that they were in possession of a firearm and were planning on using it in some way. So far, the police responded minutes after the lockdown began. Police released a statement on social media around 2:39 p.m. yesterday, right when the lockdown was lifted. The lockdown has been lifted. Officers are remaining on scene to continue the investigation. 3 juveniles are being detained for questioning. At this time, there is no safety threat. In COVID news, Incident Commander Cindy Farr with the Health Department spoke about the school's opening and safety for kids. So let's take a quick peek, and she's been giving regular updates for the last couple weeks. And so here's Cindy Farr.
So next, just want to give a little update about an uptick in children's COVID cases that we're seeing. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children do represent approximately 15% of all COVID cases across the country as of August 21st. In Missoula County today, 15% of our active cases are in children. As school begins, we want to encourage you to mask up your children, use appropriate fitting masks, and if you do use cloth face coverings, make sure that you change it out every day with a fresh, clean one. The science is there, and many studies do show that masks help slow the spread of the disease.
So a good chunk of kids are unvaccinated, and not to mention the kids who are not able to get vaccinated because they fall underneath the the age requirement of 12 to 15. So that's a fairly large chunk of unvaccinated. So far, many folks are still waiting on COVID tests as healthcare workers in Missoula are far from done with the virus. Contact tracing has become more and more difficult with the uptick in Delta spread, and so far the health department are asking folks that have symptoms to get the COVID test, but those who are not experiencing symptoms to hold off until there's any kind of confirmation that they may have been exposed to COVID. And for more information, you can go to 258-INFO. And again, if you go to MissoulaInfo.com, you can find out more about COVID. And also, they are looking for about 97 jobs to fill within the health department in terms of the COVID response. And you can get more info by going on to www.missoulainfo.com/jobs, and you can see all the job openings. Most of them are in case investigator, so that's more of the contact tracing. 27 openings. Hours can range between 24 and 40 hours, and you can do that in the safety of your home, and all you need is a phone. So yeah, there's a lot of different things going on and around, but let's take a big zoom out into the world, and this week was the final end of the Afghan war between the U.S. After 20 years, on August 30th, the U.S. fully pulled out a day earlier than the Taliban demanded, and so the U.S. president is gone, along with 117,000 refugees, but a total of more than just kind of like a retrospect back in the day between 1975 and 1997, about 1.6 million Vietnamese were resettled between those times, and the Taliban has been reported in saying that they would let those who want to leave Afghanistan and right now there is a humanitarian crisis on the horizon. In about a month, they expect to see a lot of famine and starvation starting to do an uptick in the region as well. So just kind of a nice retrospect. An artist, Sarah Rahmani, tells the story of the haunting details of the evacuation, and I have a picture that I wanted to show. So as you can see right here, I'm kind of have to cheat it, but yeah, it's a very staggering portrait with the black and white and then the color that shows a lot of the culture, the Afghan history as well. All right, so far there are still many Afghan nationalists, so you're going to hear that word a lot in the news. Afghan nationalists are the ones that were supportive of the U.S. during the occupation, who are also qualified for emergency visas and were left behind to deal with the Taliban power struggle. And just so you know, as refugee status, a lot of them don't necessarily want to be here, and so they're here because they are afraid of the repercussions with the Taliban, and if they could go back, they would go back. So it's completely different if you really think about it in those regards. But going back to who's in charge, so I'm sure you've remember the bombing that happened with the 13 soldiers that died, and nearly 100 of people, 100 of Afghan residents also died. ISIS-K is part of Islamic extremists looking to basically gather all the Middle Eastern countries together, create their own empire. But the Taliban is only interested in Afghanistan, controlling Afghanistan, and it's always been about Afghanistan for them. So they have no bigger goals in mind. So in a lot of ways, that is probably the best case scenario. What's happening in the region right now, but in Afghanistan, one of the biggest exports and source of a lot of their money was the illegal drug trade in terms of heroin made from the opium with the poppy field seeds in Afghanistan, which made up 95% of the market in Europe, according to the BBC. Their main level of legal export is rugs and dried fruit. Try running the countries on those alone, because it doesn't seem like it's really sustainable. In Missoula, so far, I kind of want to leave Afghanistan more of a positive note. I'm going to have the Mary Poole from Soft Landing to talk a little bit more about this. But in Missoula, so far, 3 Afghan families have been relocated here, to which one of the veterans of Vietnam during a Missoula Current story said that we just have the fortune of being born in this country, give them a shot. Montana's great, bring some of them in. In Texas, more into what's happening in the United States, one of the biggest news as well is the restrictive laws on abortion. So far they made the cutoff at 6 weeks, which is basically half the first half of the first trimester, where most women don't even know if they're pregnant or not. And so far, this would not support the federal law that allows for abortions, but basically gives powers to pretty much anyone to sue anybody involved with abortions, including doctors, people, as long as they can prove that abortion fell within the parameters of the new law. The other thing is that there's also a reward for the prosecution. So if you know if anybody in Texas apparently who has had an illegal abortion, you can get $10,000 if you succeed in suing them. And anybody has the right to sue. And so part of this is part of the Texas Right to Life has set up what is called a whistleblower website, where people can submit anonymous tips about anyone they believe to be violating the law. In Florida, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, stance on anti-masking of schools have hit a snag, with Leon County Circuit Judge John Cooper ruled DeSantis cannot punish school districts for passing mask mandates, as his administration had threatened after insinuating emergency rule aimed at banning mask mandates in schools. So they also did it anyways and refused to pay a couple teachers in a couple counties in Florida as well. And on Monday, the Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights announced it had launched an investigation into 5 states, exploring whether statewide prohibitions on universal indoor masking discriminate against children with disabilities. Montana is not out of the woods yet, because, like many states, our numbers are beginning to climb. I spoke about a billing story that also had teachers, which is kind of like the opposite of what's happening in Florida, where they're actually punishing teachers who do not wear masks by having a suspension of up to 5 days with no pay. But I think it's also important to leave their schools to their own policy regarding safety for their kids, and not politicians who don't have, who are not actually there on the front lines. And honestly, this is a politicized issue that it should have never been politicized in the first place. The Department of Health and Human Services released a hospital occupancy capacity report on August 9th of this year, and I'm going to take a couple look at some of the key points for you. And so here's a map that I have managed to pull up, and this kind of shows the numbers of folks who are in beds. You can see a lot of the thicker areas, and even some in the Midwestern Montana region as well. But you're seeing, maybe some not too many beds are being used in the particular space right here. But as you get further east, you can start seeing it in potentially Great Falls, Butte, and Helena type areas, where you can see a lot of those numbers. But so far, there are still a good amount of beds that are still available for a lot of folks, but it's a lot of hospitals are feeling the pressure with the uptake in new cases, especially those that are going to hospitals. Let's see. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit more about COVID because Missoula saw one of the biggest jumps in new cases, with 94 new cases on August 23rd, making the 7-day average about 45 to 50 new cases a day for that 7-day period. Worst day of new cases was on November 21st, 2020, when we reached 122 in Missoula in a single day. So let's not talk about COVID anymore. Let's move on and let's talk about the big budget. What happened in Missoula in terms of Missoula news? With the budget passed, many stories around Missoula are impacts to tax and in the county. Missoula Current reported on this. Martin Kidson reported in the Missoula Current and said that the new tax levied by the county will add $1.94 to a $350,000 house inside the city limits, and $12.14 for the same for a home of the same value outside the city. And this is per month, added up into the two halves of the county tax year. Because if like with property tax and everything like that, that starts to accumulate after X amount of time. So, anyways, enough bantering. Homes in Missoula County have gone up in value by 15%, making the taxes on those homes reflect that as well. So a lot of times it's a lot of to do with the fact that there's a major uptick inflation. Housing costs are starting to get up higher and higher. Since the values are so high, the taxes have to reflect that as well. And if you are in the city limits, $141 increase, and for the county, it's $151 for the rest of the county. Missoula cumulative total for homes are, so if you were to actually mush in all the homes and all the assets of the property owners here in the city of, and actually in the county of Missoula, it would be $18.4 billion for fiscal year 2022. The value basically steadily increased $1 billion a year since 2016. So in 2016, all the homes cumulatively was $12 billion. So in the last 6 years, we increased by $6 billion. So it's quite a big jump, and billion with a B. Let's see. All right, so there was a gas tax that was also passed in Missoula County, which they were hoping to get some of that money, but it was thrown out by Governor Greg Gianforte, and some of that money never really got to start here in Missoula. Broken down, this year's proposed county budget includes a $171.3 million in revenue and $173 million in total expenditures. The $2.5 million deficit reflects the use of cash savings from previous years for one-time expenditures. However, the city has a little more ambitious with their budget of $244 million, which is a $6 million increase from last year. Lots of money will go into effect of 2022, but before I get into my video of sports, I want to mention that MCAT will be covering the football and volleyball games from Hellgate and Sentinel. Check our Facebook and YouTube pages for the latest games. And without further ado, here is the sports highlights between Hellgate High School and CMR. It was a great game if you got a chance to watch it live. It is available on YouTube and Facebook currently right now. Let's kick things off. Let's talk a little bit about a couple movies that are coming out this weekend. It's time for Pre-Critic, where I prejudge a movie based on absolutely nothing but my prejudices towards movies in general. Let's kick things off with Shang-Chi. Welcome to China, where Hollywood continues to be influenced by China's market to create a fun journey across China with Chinese gal pal Aquafina. She's like the funny lady in movies that requires Chinese background, but let's not get into that. Let's not basically say the quiet part out loud, but focus on the Marvel Black Panther plot. Reluctant future leader slash hero, check. Daddy issues, check. Wide-eyed, comic relief, check. And of course, quips. Enjoy yet another movie that tells the same story with a different coat of paint, but still the advertising around this disappeared with the Spider-Man trailer dropping. Up next, we got Karen from the Hillbilly from Orange is the New Black, and the real-life Karen actress Tyron Manning, no relation, comes Karen, very on-the-nose depiction of a black family moving into the cul-de-sac, and Karen being the embodiment of a Karen. Enjoy your memes until you realize this movie plays into a thriller category. Karen uses her tools like calling the police, pretending to be nice, but actually being rude. Then things start escalating, and they do one-up each other again and again. Things get out of control, tell as old as time, and close up on the seemingly dead Karen's eye before opening again. Sequel. Uh, so dispassionate about this. All right, we have a sci-fi movie, dystopian future, detective, blah blah blah. They call it neo noir, kind of like Blade Runner. So whatever. Sci-fi movie about divides the haves from the have-nots in a future society where things seem easy on the surface, but everything is not quite what it seems. Basically, sci-fi movies are like a Lifetime movie, but made for boys and men. But the sci-fi nerds, casual viewers, like Blade Runner, we follow a detective on their journey to find the client's robot daughter, but along the way get sidetracked by the bunch of sci-fi tropes, laser fights, running into the form of the police, discovering the true AI behind human understanding that must be protected, blah, 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 sci-fi. All right, we got a mid-credit scene for Shang-Chi. Why don't you see yet another Marvel movie? Eat a pizza, and you know what to expect. It's like pizza, empty calories, but you enjoy it nonetheless. Up next, we have a speed round, baby. Yakuza Princess. Every sword has a story, but this one feels like a story of a sword of folks. Actually, this is more of a story of people who buy swords in Japan only to get them confiscated through customs. Up next, we got The Gateway. Gateway to Exit, please. Low-res poster followed by a semi-famous actor from Captain America. This is a heist movie with family. I like it better when it was Fast and Furious franchise. Then we got another speed round. Mowgli. Remember that guy from Sound of Metal? He did another film about an artist who must cope with a debilitating thing that prevents him from making a good movie, and that's a burn. Oh, yes, we have a pre-credit scene. Everybody cannot wait until the end because they might reveal a major comic through line or something completely stupid involving secondary character that they told to wait here and has been waiting for the past events of the movie. Up next, we have a brand new dub and stuff for you guys, and it was a pretty easy choice because back in the day, the Three Stooges were the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the day, where they would just invite all sorts of actors from different movies from way back when for like 20 years, and yeah, I mean, without further ado, here's a dub and stuff. Sing a song of Sixpence.
Ooh, gotta go to the bathroom. Ooh. Okay, let's try here. Gotta go to the bathroom. No bathroom here. I better pretend to be a mannequin and then poop silently. Okay. Change the hat. He won't even recognize me. Did I just hear no one will ever recognize me? Oh, this door's open. Probably. Hello? Hey! Oh my God, it's Three Stooges.
Let's get him.
No, please,
Welcome
no.
to the tailor shop.
I don't need you.
Hope you like all sorts of
Wait a minute, you
please
bugs.
stop.
No curlies here. Come on, Shem. I'm the least funny one of the group. Just ask Curly Joe. We'll never speak that name again, you hear me? I'm just looking for a person who wandered in here.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Ooh, you got a nice
The best
suit
the
here.
deep state can buy.
Oh, why are you coming to this crappy tailor shop in the first place? Hey, Mo, why does this guy smell like poop?
I bought the mannequin secondhand. Here, check out this suit coat.
Oh, you see, it matches your skin tone.
Don't put clothes on people's faces. Now you listen here, I'm getting very
Well,
angry.
maybe we have that in red. I don't know why we're laughing.
No, I don't have time for this. Quit putting coats on me. It's too small for me. Get out of me. What's wrong with you people? I'm just looking for a serial pooper.
Whoa.
Oh, you mean a guy who poops in cereal boxes?
Hey, Mo, remember when we were poor and had to do that?
We had to do what we had to do, just like what I'm about to do.
Ooh.
No, please don't hurt me.
don't worry
Please
about
don't
him.
hurt
He's
me.
a mug.
I have
He's
a wife and
stupid.
kid.
Hey, Larry, did you
Get your
mean
hands off- get
we
your
were
hands off me. I don't
bored
need that
and
right
we
now.
pooped in
Get your
cereal
hands off me.
boxes, or were we poor? Huh?
Well, what'd you answer?
Yes? Well, here's your matching pants for your matching coat. I hope you like it.
All right, you mugs. Oh. Whew. Officer,
Oh,
I
your
didn't know you were an
tenants now,
officer.
Georgia. Now I'm looking for a serial pooper, and you must tell me where he is, or I'm going to take you in for
peace,
myself.
Not, war,
Now
not.
wait a second. Why do you think your accent
Oh, I
changed?
don't know. I'm switching between an Irish and a whatever accent.
value-
Well, thanks for stopping by. Ooh.
Man, I didn't know it was going to be this hard to go to the bathroom.
What happened in the
I
bathroom?
went into this random tailor shop. There were 3 guys, and they were just messing and taking off my clothes and giving it to that cop guy. It was really weird. It was very uncomfortable, and I think I should report this to somebody. Those 3 types of people together are a real nuisance in the city.
You've obviously never planned a wedding.
Oh, that me coughing isn't me scoffing. It's just seasonal allergies. Let's move on to some city council stuff. So I don't have any clips to show you guys, but I'm going to go over it as, you know, here we go. Okay, usually the city doesn't hold meetings on the 5th Monday of the month, but they had a plan for the next 2 weeks in terms of community meetings because Labor Day was happening this Monday. So Labor Day weekend is this weekend, folks. And so far, it seems like it to be running of the mill meetings with an emphasis on roads and Park District 1 with around $5 million for roads and around $3 million for the parks. And so far, this is an update to the district that was established back in 2011. And so this was made just to kind of help raise money and sustain money for road maintenance, park maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And any other kind of projects that I want to work on as well with replacement costs of playground gyms and whatnot. So anyways, one of the things they were also talking about was the lighting district. They didn't talk too much about this, but they talked about up to $350,000 going to lighting downtown area, courtesy of the downtown taxes associated with the special lighting district that is there. Be aware that some lighting areas in Missoula fall under the purview of the Montana Department of Transportation, so don't assume that many lights that are not downtown are tied into this special lighting district. So they voted in keeping the lights on in the city of Missoula, and there were no committee meetings this week, so it was a very run-of-the-mill, really shorthand, kind of short school kind of thing like that. I did want to throw it over to some of the events that are happening tonight, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about your First Friday. So if you're interested in learning more about what's happening here in the city of Missoula, First Friday is a wonderful art appreciation day. It happens, yes, first Friday of the month. The art galleries offer, sometimes they have wine, sometimes they have hors d'oeuvres, but it really depends upon, how they feel comfortable about serving them to the public and the masses. So without further ado, let's kick things off with Sally Hickman and Connie Murray Artworks. And this is at the Gallery 709 in Montana Art and Framing. Gallery 709 in Montana Art and Framing presents Sally Hickman and Connie Murray, Contemplating Nature, First Friday, September 3rd from 5 to 9 p.m. at the 709 Ronan Street. So if you know where this is, it's right next to the, I believe it's the, if you actually take down the biking trail right next to the railroad track that cuts right through the city and basically Missoula as a whole, you can't miss it. So it's kind of like right there, kind of in the center. But so far, Missoula acrylic oils and drawing of birds and flowers will be on display until September 30th, and they'll have a new art exhibit for the next First Friday. Then we have Artist Shop, Painting Speech. This is by Beth Lee, calligraphy and lettering done with water media. Oh, oops, my bad. So yeah, just oh man, let me just grab the art piece for you guys so I can plop it up. Here it is. Okay, so this is kind of like just a little taste of the painting speech by Beth Lee, calligraphy and lettering down with watermarks, watercolors, gouache, inks, and dyes. The graphite on paper, as David McConnell put it, to write well is to think well, and as a calligrapher, I would modify that this way. To write out is to ponder thoroughly. Current events having sent me into my studio and on solo walks, I have pondered through thoroughly my place in current events and in nature. These pieces are a result. So this is one taste of his art piece as well. But I also wanted to give a shout out to the Jeanette Rankin Peace Center for reassembling the peace sign, which is currently at their location, basically behind their Jeanette Rankin Peace Center on Olive Branch in the downtown Missoula area. You can't miss it. It is kind of in front of Flippers, but not really. It's if you just kind of walk down right behind those buildings that are just off of Higgins, where they just are finishing the construction up on the bridge, on the sidewalk part of the bridge. They still have a whole half of the Higgins Bridge to go. And so anyways, the peace sign for the unveiling, starting at 5 p.m. tonight, and what was once up on the hill will now be on their back patio, featuring artists include Dre Castillo and Kim Christen, music by the Shenanigans and Community Storytelling. Sponsors include the Guild, Corntopia, Bernice's, and Zips Beverage. Okay, so those are your kind of the rundown of what's happening for your First Friday. I didn't see too many representations of First Friday in terms of art. A lot of times I don't talk about some of the art exhibits that are happening in town, but you can go to Missoula Events for more information. Hold on a second. I went to Missoula Current Events. And then we just go, boom, MissoulaEvents.net. It's where you can find out everything about your First Friday and other events as well. But before I jump into your other events, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our big events that's happening this Saturday, and that includes our Saturday drop-ins. So Saturday drop-ins, we did it for the last 5-6 years at our old location, but this is the first year we're doing it here at MCAT location. So at Saturday, starting at 1 p.m., kids just drop on in. One of the things that we have to do is we have to have a liability waiver. The kids may be on camera, so there's that thing with that, so we'll have to work that out as well. And so for the most part, it's supposed to be a drop-in activity. Kids just drop in, make some movies, do some stop animation. It's just really what it's all about, and stop animation is a good breakthrough in terms of creating some media, as well as learning to edit, creating a story, and also the great thing about it is that you can do it by yourself, and then eventually it's a good way for a lot of kids who are kind of introverted and to actually start finding other like-minded friends through a creative endeavor. So I think it's a great opportunity, and a lot of kids seem to really respond really well with it. And just kind of like and you get kind of movies like this that I'm about to show you. So without further ado, here is what is called Fox King, and it was filmed and edited here at MCAT from our kids at our summer camps. And without further ado, here's this.
How I do so love this country and my house in the woods and my little foxes, of course.
Hey, Heather, so you got the greens for today?
Yes, I do. You think we should go down to the farmer's market and sell them?
That's a good idea. Come on, Gil and Gilbert.
Might those be the foxes and the greens from up on the hill there? Very nice, very nice. My dear, do you happen to live there?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I can get you some very nice things. Very nice indeed. Come along then.
I don't trust this guy. He seems pretty suspicious.
What do you mean? He's totally trustworthy. You're just being silly.
Am I?
Well, I'm going to get into my diamond-encrusted car and drive into my gold-encrusted manor. Now, it's very nice, very nice. And you could have it all, my lady, for just a low, low price of your entire property. It's not that big of a deal, it's a very nice deal, in fact. Just your entire property and you can have it all.
We can't let him do that. That's a farm we grew up in for years.
It doesn't matter. We can build another farm on the mansion. And just think about it. We'll have all that land and that car.
I don't trust him.
You're being silly.
I don't think so. I think he's up to something. Let's do it. Let's find out what he's doing.
need to get this not very nice at all farm out of the way so that we can bring in the most amazing thing in the world. A very, very nice highway mall hotel. I've got to get rid of that farm boy. He'll ruin everything, and then I won't be able to make my hotel mall highway. The farm boy must die. I must hire an assassin. I hear you're the very nicest of the very nice. I need you to make a farm boy commit die. Very nice.
I feel hot, Daddy. Better finally sleep with my foxes. Oh, what was that noise? Who are you? Ah! Come here. It's on inside. Oh no, what should I do? That guy's trying to get me. I guess I'll sit in here with my foxes. Oh, you're here. I think Archibald hired an assassin to eliminate me.
You're right. You never liked Archibald from the start, and you better be nice to him tomorrow morning at our business breakfast meeting.
Good morning, Heather.
It's Heather and Archibald before it's too late.
Ah, yes. Hello, my dear. Take a seat. As the deal stands now, I am trading $100 million in exchange for your entire property. And also temporary stay at my mansion. As a show of my dedication to this deal, I have brought you a solid silver trophy. Do we have a deal?
Yes, it is a deal. But one thing. Am I gonna be able to keep my foxes in your mansion for the stay?
Yes, Yes! The foxes can stay at the mansion. Assassin! No. Go. This isn't part of the deal. Get out of here. Oh, yes. Where were we? You're about to sign over your entire farm for the low price of $100 million.
You really were trying to kill Clyde, so everything he said was true.
For day my machinations lay undetected. But if you will not give me your farm willingly, I will take it from your cold dead hand. All I wanted to do was be a good businessman and make billions of dollars.
boy, I love you. Hey guys, so Archibald is actually dead and Gilbert here killed him.
Wait a minute. You're telling me I'm not getting paid? I guess so. I guess you're free to go. I wanted to pay off my student loans this week.
Good luck.
Bye.
Well, yeah. So, anyways, I feel as though when I'm watching that video, as well as is maybe Austin Powers was on Netflix, and she's like, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do an Austin Powers, and that's kind of I can see a lot of inspiration coming from in that film, just with the whole like Doctor Evil thing. Anyways, let's talk about some events that are happening as well. I also wanted to mention. Oh God, I always forget about like the short mentions as well. But anyways, I'll get around to it probably around the horn towards the end of the show. But if you are interested in learning more about the Spectrum Discovery Center, they have their museum public hours, so it's a kind of a drop-in. Feel free to just do whatever. Hands-on science exhibits from starting at 10 a.m. and they do this from about 10 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Yeah, and it's open for visitors of all ages to explore science through engaging exhibits. They're located here in the library on the second floor, the kids floor. Makerspace open hours, like I said, starts at 10 a.m. They do about 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m. 3D printing, laser prints as well. So if you have a piece of wood and you want a laser cutter, it cuts frames in the woods. It's actually really sophisticated. It's really cool. And that happens from 10 to 1 and then again from 2 to 6 because the person has to have a lunch break. Leave Ira alone. Storytime is Missoula Public Library. Storytime is for children age 3 and over and their caregivers. Join Friday and Saturday, 10:30 for stories and fun at the Art Box on level 2. Storytime will be recorded and posted online later for those of you who want to watch online. Tiny Tales is also happening around the same time. So this is more about song rhythm, and they have this in the program room on their second floor. So this is more geared towards story time, plays, puppets, and stuff like that. Tiny Tales and story time are two different things. Story time is a great way to engage and look at books and read books and stuff like that. Tiny Tales is interactive, fun environment for the kids. Watercolor painting classes are back at the Missoula Public Library starting at 12 and at the same time yarns too. So if you're interested in watercolor, you get to learn from Rob P as well as going to Yarns, which calling all the knitters and crocheters, bring your lunch and your latest project to the Blackfoot Boardroom on level 4 on Fridays at noon to end your week with some crafty fun. And this is from 12 to 2 p.m. It's a good way to stitch and with other people who like to stitch and so anyways, it's a fun activity. I remember what they used to call it back in the day, but I don't want to say it on my show. But anyways, welcome Bash. KBGA is going to be at the Imagination Brewing Company. College is starting up again, and KBGA is student-run radio station out of the University of Montana. And from 4 to 6 p.m. Imagination Brewery, they're doing a reinstalling our Teacher Appreciation Fridays by giving $2 off for the first drink to all teachers. In addition, this Friday, only students will receive $2 off with first drink with presentation of school ID, and of course, must be 21 and over. Hello. But they have kombucha there, so it's great for anybody who's 18 to 20. Missoula Paddleheads Baseball, Pride Night, and Fireworks Extravaganza, Oregon Park at Allegianceville, Missoula versus Great Falls. They're going to have some games all weekend long. Rain, a 26th coronation. So this, so you guys know, if you're interested in anything about drag shows and stuff like that, the Hilton Garden is hosting the Imperial Sovereign Court of the State of Montana. ISCSM works to educate and advocate LGBTQIA and an allied community with promoting social tolerance and multiple gender expression through the production of drag performances. And they work to eliminate historical oppression in the community and individuals through expansion and the boundaries of sex, gender, and sexual orientation by creating a safe and welcoming environment. And that's at 7 p.m. tonight at the Hilton Garden Inn. Josh Farmer Band is also going to be playing at the Union Club at 9 p.m. I've got to give some love for Josh Farmer. I know him. Anyways, let's move on to some Saturdays. Markets and such from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. People's Pine Street at Oxford. River Market at the Carousel until the bridge is done. OG Market by the Red X's at the very end of Higgins Avenue. And if you're interested in learning about homesteading, Moon Randolph Homestead is Missoula's own homesteaded farm and farm land as well. Bring your friends and family to the Moon Randolph Homestead Open Days, which runs every Saturday through May to October from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Public tours are available during the open days at a first-come, first-served basis. Explore the homestead, wild plum thicket, heritage apple orchard, barn, root cellar, and livestock at your own pace. Yeah. Like I said, MCAT's doing their Saturday drop-ins. I just got to reaffirm that it's going to be happening from 1 to 3 p.m. There's some extra time afterwards for kids, but primarily we're going to keep the creativity jam-packed within those 2 hours, and then we have the opportunity to give the kids a chance to have a little more freedom to enjoy the whole library as a whole. It's kind of like a oh, sorry, I'm coughing, and it does not bode well, especially in these times. But just so you guys know, it is a wonderful introduction into the library for a lot of kids who are aged 9 to 14, and is a great way for them to work on many different projects together and come in here as well, make some movies, do some videos, and have their projects saved for later date. And parents are encouraged to bring their own thumb drives and scan disks if they want to save their kids' things. But if they have an iPhone or anything else like that, I'd be able to easily transfer it to their devices with my special brain know-how about transferring files. All right, moving on. Death Cab for Cutie is here in Missoula tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. at the Kettle House Amphitheater, and they're going to be selling tickets through Logjam Presents. Yeah, it looks like there's some seats available. Death Cab for Cutie is a pretty good band. I remember some of their songs. I can't remember the exact names of it because I don't remember lyrics to songs. I just remember tones. I'm not going to sing it for you. But anyways, just trust me, they're pretty good, blah, blah, blah. Foxy Blues Recession Special, Why We Came West at Free Cycle. So it's going to be a couple bands. We're going to be playing at the Free Cycle starting at 7 p.m. It's a $5 suggested donation at the door. No one is turned away for lack of funds. And yeah, 7 to 10 p.m. at Free Cycles. Sunday, if you're interested in some more farmers market and you missed out on Saturday market, Target Range Farmers Markets is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's going to be at their Target Range School and parking lot. Milltown State Park Labor Day event at 11 a.m. If you're interested in doing that, on Sunday at 11 a.m., Bonner Milltown and Bonner Milltown Historic Center and Museum will host Labor Day events at Milltown State Park Confluence area on Sunday. And it's going to be from 11 to 4 p.m. This is a free event to the public. Come celebrate the long industrial and timber labor history local in the Milltown and surrounding areas. And this was a park that was kind of built out of the removal of the Milltown Dam, which saw a lot of waters receding and a lot of old, very high-priced wood that remain under the water. So it's really cool. And also, if you're interested in doing some fun things on Sunday, German Fest is happening on Sunday at the Karis Park. Global and Cultural Affairs of Arts Missoula presents German Fest, the annual celebration of Missoula sister city partners, the Nickegamund, Germany, on Sunday. I totally butchered that, so just bear with me. So it's German Fest from 2 to 6 p.m. at Karis Park downtown. What else do you need to know? Skates, rollerblades, and e-skates. Audacious, Fort Missoula. Join the fun and rollerblade or skate with others. Families with children and age are all welcome, whether experienced or beginners. The area is safe and the layout is ideal for looking to learn or improve their skills. Basically, they have a lot of long sidewalks next to a lot of grass, so if you feel like you're going to fall, it's easier to fall into the grass than it is to fall more into the hard asphalt / concrete. And also, Steve Miller Band will be playing at the Kettle House Amphitheater Sunday night as well. And the Breakfast Club will be playing at the Roxy at 8:30 p.m. And the Clyde Coffee will be presented the Hip Strip Movie Night, a free series of classic contemporary film screenings. And this night they're doing the Breakfast Club. And so that's happening this weekend as well. Enjoy your guys' Labor Day weekend. That's pretty much it for my morning show. I wanted to thank you guys as well. I did not think about the event that I was completely forgetting about. But more than that, if you want to learn more information, go to MissoulaEvents.net. But if you want to learn more about MCAT events and upcoming workshops, because we are also doing some workshops here at MCAT Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with Monday workshops being Adobe programs, Tuesday programs being Final Cut, Mac-based editing programs, and then Wednesday we have some studio and podcast rooms that we have available for anybody interested in doing those workshops. And it is ongoing, but you must RSVP, and it is not a drop-in, so You can apply online, I believe, through MCAT.org, or you can sign up here, or you can call us at 542-6228, otherwise known as 542-MCAT. But without further ado, I'm done with my morning show. Have a good weekend, and enjoy your guys' Labor Day.